Welcome to Seattle. This is our final port stop with Royal Caribbean on our Trans-Pacific cruise. So we just have one afternoon to explore this beautiful city. Come along with us as we try to taste some of the best food and experience some of the top sights in a very short amount of time.
So of course, being in Seattle, our first stop has to be the Pike Place Market.
Yeah, and if you come here, come up to the rooftop. You get fantastic views of the entire harbor. You can see the Seattle observation wheel. You can see Mount Rainier way in the distance and some other like snow-covered peaks on the other side. It is very pretty. So we noticed that there are a ton of apple cider stalls. This one you get a small or large cup. It's only $10 and you can try all the flavors before you commit to one.
So lunch at Lowell's was just okay, a little pricey though.
Yeah, the view was nice and obviously it has a cool location there, but they said like world famous fish and chips and world famous chowder. Those are the two things we got. Maybe because I come from New England, my standards on clam chowder are really high, but I found the clam chowder completely acceptable. The fish and chips were nice, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would go back there if I was back in Seattle again. Now we have made it over to the Space Needle. We bought our tickets ahead of time, combined with the Chihuly Gardens. And you can get a timed entry into the Space Needle. So ours is at 4 o'clock, which is in just 2 minutes. So we're gonna get inside. So we made it up to the top after a short and very beautiful elevator ride.
I looked it up. This thing is actually 605 feet tall.
Yeah, and as we were walking in, there was a whole like little display of the whole construction process, which was started in and actually completed both in 1961. So very, very cool. I will say we've been up in a lot of tall buildings, done a lot of observation decks and observation towers around the world, and this one is one of the prettier ones. Seeing the snow-capped mountains off in the distance, Mount Rainier behind us now, you can see the city on one side and all the water on the other. It's very pretty. It is very expensive, but it is very pretty.
So when you're visiting, make sure you come down the 2 flights of stairs to the revolving glass observation deck.
Yes, it is definitely worth it. It is quite cool. It is also quite amusing to see some people be so nervous and horrified to walk on glass this high. I enjoy that. There's a bar on this floor that serves cocktails, and on the top floor there was a little cafe that also serves some draft beers. I think we're gonna save that for a little later, and I think now we're gonna head back down the elevator.
The pieces inside the museum were absolutely beautiful and also huge, expansive pieces of art.
Yeah, it's wild how much detail there are in them. And if you've ever been to Bellagio, the ceiling there is done by the same artist. So you can kind of get an idea of what to expect here. It's really, really beautiful. We've come to the garden outside now, and it's really cool the way they've kind of like incorporated the glass sculptures so they look like they're almost like plant life or flowers. They look like they belong. It's very beautiful. But right now it sounds like they're getting ready to do a glass blowing demonstration. So I think we're gonna go check that out. So we just finished up at the Chihuly Gardens, and sorry I butchered that name earlier.
We would say if you're on a time crunch and you have a choice between the Space Needle and the gardens here and the market, definitely skip the market and come here.
Yeah, the Pike Place Market was cool, but it was at the end of the day kind of like a farmer's market. You know, they had some fresh seafood, fruits, vegetables, and some apple ciders, and they had a couple restaurant stalls, and maybe it's just the one we chose, but it was just kind of okay. The gardens here in the Space Needle, absolutely super impressive. Loved our experience, but we have time for one more stop, and since the Pacific Northwest is so known for craft beer, we're gonna head to a tap house. Right now we are at Teku Tavern. There were a couple breweries around, but from what I could see, the beer list there were very heavily IPA focused. This place has a huge wall of taps and had like 7 different dark beers on draft, which are me and David's favorite. So I got here the import stout, and then David got the imperial barrel aged stout. And I don't know if you can see, but behind me now is a giant wall of bottles and cans as well. So if you can't find something you like here, you're impossible to please.
Well, that's a wrap on Seattle. We had a great time. My favorite part was the glass gardens.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too. I especially like the inside of the museum. Some of those pieces were absolutely spectacular. Did love going up in the Space Needle as well though. Overall, great day. Now we are on our way to Alaska. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below. If you haven't already, check out our last video where we visit the cruise port of Hakodate, Japan.